Hello and welcome to the IGN UK Podcast. This week I'm joined by Powers.
Hello.
And Kruper.
Hello.
And Simmons.
Every time I forget to hype you up, sorry.
You're not his hype man.
I should be.
Yeah, but I'm not his hype man, but at least I do it.
He'll be your host. Did we hire him as a hype man? I thought he was a video producer.
I should be a hype man.
He'd be a good hype man.
Or a shoutcaster, just like keep you guys motivated, just yell over your shoulders when you're editing and
stuff. Do you see the shoutcaster at Gamescom at the Microsoft conference? He's from up north like me, and he just went on too long.
That was the catchphrase, the thing he kept on using.
And there's a grenade in the hole.
It was more northern than that.
A grenade in the hole. I can't see. I'm going to try and do
that scenario.
I know, but it's been diluted from living down here. But there's a grenade in the hole.
You're very posh.
A grenade in the hole.
But actually, it's a good point that you're talking about first-person shooters, because that is the main talking point of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty Black Ops beta is out right now. You're a big Call of Duty fan.
I am
a big first-person fan. But before we talk, there's a big broader topic here. And from my point of view, I find I'm getting a little bit of combat fatigue. But before we talk about that, what's your impressions as a COD fan on the beta?
So today was actually my first day getting to play it, and there's a couple differences.
It took
so I've been playing
hours to download.
Oh my god, 47 hours to download, which I think was a problem on our end, hopefully not on their end. There's a bit of differences so far. So I've been playing a lot of Advanced Warfare, which was the first one to kind of incorporate the exoskeletons. Yep. You kind of have a similar thing with this, so it's not quite exoskeletons. You can. It's not really a double jump, but it's more like a jetpack.
Yeah.
There's no. So kind of the additional mobility that you gained in Advanced Warfare was because you could do these burst movements with your exosuit. So if you're getting shot at, you can like burst around a corner and like burst to catch up with someone. There is no burst movement in this game.
I was trying to do that. I was like,
which it's a little weird because it's a problem the games have. One game will implement a sprint option, and then every time you play a game before it feels slower. So then the sprint option, you need to add an exosuit to make it even faster. So this game kind of has the issue where it's like, well, how do we go faster? How do we make it more exciting? And that's where the wall running comes in.
So dare I say it, it's quite a lot like Titanfall.
Well, see, I never played Titanfall.
Right.
But
it's got the same kind of boost mechanic.
Yeah.
It's got the same wall running mechanic. Obviously, there's no giant robots that you jump in.
Yeah.
But
unless you get a Goliath or...
Well, so there's two things. In terms of the multiplayer beta, so the maps are classic Call of Duty. They're quite close, very tight.
The level design
compared to Titanfall.
Yeah.
For example.
Well, it's kind of interesting.
Because it has to be.
Yeah.
You've got Titans.
Yeah.
I like that map with the waterfall. And swimming underwater.
Swimming, that's the first time you could do that.
It's a big Jurassic Park. I quite like that.
Yeah.
But it was funny because we had an issue with one of the maps we were playing earlier. We kept falling in holes and dying.
I fell into a jungle.
Like, kept on dying. And I found it really weird because when I was playing at lunch as well, I kept on falling and dying. And then I realized those kind of like little areas where they have the holes is because, it's built for wall running.
Exactly. It's almost to punish you. It's like, wall running confers an advantage, but there's a risk if you mess it up.
Exactly, yeah. And it's also, motivation to get people to use wall. Yeah. Because I only started doing it again. But you can actually get a lot of momentum from wall running, and you can run for a lot of time and really use it to your advantage to totally confuse people. Because I was getting destroyed by people running up walls and shooting me on the ground, and I'm getting a little bit better, but it's still pretty difficult to get the hang of.
Like, considering at this time it's only been live for maybe 48 hours, I think. There are some very good people out there already.
Well, there's already people who are like level 30 and
they need to chill the fuck out.
Like, the matchmaking needs to be sorted out. I'm sure it will be in the final game.
Yeah.
Like, I think the one thing that Rocket League, and I know we always talk about Rocket League, that's really good, is that it matches
it's a first-person shooter.
But it does matchmaking really well.
Really well.
And I hope that's the case with Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, Rocket League has the bonus where it's like they can put bots in your game very easily. Yep. I mean, you can't really do that with COD. Like, if people drop out, you can't just throw a bunch of bots in there.
Also, what it has going for it is you're a little car playing football.
Yeah. Which, I like that.
I just think fundamentally that's quite good, isn't it? Yeah. Like, you're a little car and you're trying to play football.
It's very, very good.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. The other thing that I found quite punishing from the beta is that as a kind of novice, and you are playing, I think I'm level 4, maybe rank 4, playing against rank 25s, 30s, is that the actual ammo and stuff that I've unlocked in terms of optics, add-ons to, is really limited. So you start off like with a kind of handicap almost.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
the best players who are the best have the best gear, which seems a bit of a kind of arse way of doing it.
Yeah. It's like...
And I understand why they do it, because you've got to reward players that are good and do exceptional stuff. But at the same time, it's like... Rocket League is a level playing field, right?
But I guess that's the difference, is because
quite literally a level playing field.
Yeah, and this is the driving difference. Wait, did that even make sense? I don't think it did. The whole difference with COD is that it's supposed to reward progress, and you need to be able to unlock things that are going to make you better. You're going to want to play more so you can level up to get this gun and get this score streak. There were some cool. So one of the cool things that's always with COD is that if you can be a really high level, you can unlock some amazing guns.
Yeah.
If you get killed in a game, someone can just pick up your gun that you've unlocked, and you can use that gun if you're level 1 or if you're level 50, which is quite nice.
And all the kind of the kind of perks and stuff that the rewards that it kind of gives you for even exacting revenge on the person that kills you and stuff like that.
Lots of
all of that.
It makes you feel really good for doing very small things.
It is smart, that kind of stuff.
It's you got a kill after 5 deaths. That's a comeback medal. Just little incentives.
But you're right. It
feels good.
You feel good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
One of the other cool things to note is that they have kind of character selection, which we haven't really seen before.
Well, that's the thing with our first preview. So it's a bit more like a MOBA. You have characters that have particular skill sets a bit more, rather than just any class, distinct classes with distinct abilities.
And obviously that's a very popular kind of game structure nowadays, is being able to pick a character that has its own abilities and things. And obviously, so each character can have 2 different essentially special weapons that they can use, and it's similar to, it was in Modern Warfare 3, I think. So these are different from score streaks, because a score streak, if you die, your points drop, you're back to 0 again. These kind of special abilities, they build over time, so you can die, but your points remain the same, and with each kill, capture, assist, whatever it is, you're closer to getting your special weapon.
Yeah.
So what was your special weapon?
My special weapon was the War Machine, which is like a grenade launcher, which was pretty good, but there were people destroying me with a bow and arrow. You destroyed me with a bow and arrow.
I saw your leg fly off.
Yeah. I was I got hit with the arrow and I was like, oh, that sucks. And then just
blew apart in front of my face. I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Because I was playing as Prophet, and he's got the kind of lightning arc gun, if I think.
That gun is... really good if you can hit someone with
the animation
when charge it up.
Do you see the animation when someone gets fried? It's quite funny.
Yeah.
I had a really great moment where at the end of it, it's the round winning kill.
Yeah.
So I was running around with one guy, and one of the enemy team popped up with the laser gun and shot me, and my friend shot him. Yeah. And then the electricity trails from people, so then he got electrocuted. Right. So the last kill was kill, and then he just went, oh, and just dropped to the ground.
How that works with the water level.
I thought that.
Yeah, if you fire it into the water and everyone in it just gets fried. So
it's a bit shooting it, and all these bodies just.
Well, there was that last match where you were on the opposing team and you were all hanging out in that little pool area. And it was like shooting fish in a barrel, but it was actually quite hard.
Yeah, because the fish had guns and were men as well.
So actually, it was nothing like that.
But anyway, so I think the general consensus, or my perspective anyway, is from what I've seen of Black Ops 3, because I played it a bit at Gamescom as well, is that I think technically and mechanically it's a great game. But man, am I over the futuristic setting now. It's I find it very hard to get excited.
Well, I mean, this is what kind of one of the issues that I was bringing up earlier. If you want to go back to previous setting, how do you keep up this speed and this intensity that FPS players are used to now? You can't. People wanted them to go back to World of War and do maybe another World War II setting, but it's how do you go back? You can't have exosuits.
I think it's at the same time they've embraced a kind of departure from reality in the DLC and zombies that I'd be quite happy for them to incorporate into the main game.
That the multiplayer felt different.
Yeah, so next one. What if Call of Duty next year, for instance, was dragons and lizard men, and it was you have
that's a bit further out there than I was thinking.
I'm so on board with this.
Reskin it, and it's just Call of Duty, but it's a medieval setting.
Does that not feel a bit medieval? Okay,
medieval setting, or it could be the zombies into a whole game where you're fighting not just zombies but other kinds of monsters, vampires, and you've got a Gatling gun. It's still as fast because it doesn't matter. You're in a fantasy setting. Who cares what speed you're moving at? And you're firing stakes. It doesn't matter really. Do you know what I mean? Embrace it. Basically, you've still got the exact same skeleton beneath it all.
I get it.
And you've just gone sod it.
I think I just think if you look at the size and scale of Call of Duty, I just think most of the people that buy that game probably.
I think you agree. I think Dragons and Fantasy is a certain thing that it just eliminates certain people. But I think you can find a thing that incorporates more people, maybe. Whether that's Alien Invasion, so Call of Duty Armageddon, or Call of Duty basically Independence Day, where aliens are invading. So I know aliens is quite overdone as well in another sense, but not. I don't know. I think there's something you could find there.
So what about? Leads me on to my next part is Star Wars Battlefront. Obviously that is this is doing it a disservice, but Battlefield with a Star Wars skin. Could Call of Duty exist but with a different skin?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so what if you found the license? Yeah, so what else could you have? I can't think off the top.
I know.
Dragons and Lizards was pretty much nail on the head.
Oh, you've seen the film Dragons and Lizards?
Yeah, Dragon v Lizards. Good sequel too. Well, I think that's what Zombies was. It was a way to have the Call of Duty engine employed in a different setting. Sure. Exactly. And I mean, Treyarch as well. I think it was Treyarch. Maybe it was the Call of Duty before this one. Well, they didn't have the license for Zombies. They couldn't do Zombies because it's a different developing company. So they did Aliens, and it was the Call of Duty mechanics in the game.
It was in Ghosts.
Ghosts, yeah, and so it was similar to Zombies, where you have to fight the waves.
About that.
So I mean, this is kind of their way of doing it. I would also not veering too far away from a complete Call of Duty game.
Yeah, you could elaborate in some interesting ways.
Yeah,
I think they're both fun,
but
Western.
So I've always loved.
There was a Western map on Zombies.
Full Western. Again,
it's just a
sci-fi Western.
It doesn't meet that.
I'm just saying stuff now.
A Western doesn't kind of meet the kind of fast-paced criteria. I don't think.
But like sci-fi Western.
Okay. What was that? Aliens versus Cowboys with Daniel Craig.
Jesus! Cowboys versus Aliens.
Right, yeah. Never saw it. Heard all about it.
I heard it.
I was one of the first screenings I went to at IGN, and Chris fell asleep in it, and his Maltesers fell on the floor, and they just went everywhere.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah, he had a shit in the cinema.
I'm imagining one of those really awkward moments where he spills the bag and then they proceed to roll down all the aisles and pour out at the front.
He lays pellet like Maltesers.
Like a sheep, just littered.
Bringing it back on track.
It's a little bit.
So as a single player gamer, so I played a bit of COD Ops 3 and I'm really happy that they've got 4-player kind of co-op campaign, which is great.
That is cool.
I'd really like to play right now a World War II game, which 5 years ago you would never have said, but now it's like I'd love to kind of go back to Call of Duty 2, which was an amazing single player game. Yeah. But see it, redefined with this generation, this kind of level of fidelity and all that kind of stuff. Or
it's been a while since we've had
I just hope we have more wars. So we can have more settings to draw upon, because we've done jungles and deserts. I think we should start kicking off in more places.
I don't think we've done enough jungle there.
Do more jungle.
Seriously, Vietnam War. I've said it before. Vietnam War is a perfect.
I've got it. I've got it. So it's a new COD. It's set in the jungle because we don't have a lot of jungle stuff, and it's in the rainforest, and we are killing the animals that live in there. You have to kill the animals.
It's a hunting game.
So then when it's clear, then you can deforest the place. So you get money for selling paper.
Deforest sim.
So you can call it Call of Duty. You've got to be the leader. Call of Duty Amazon Prime maybe.
Ooh, not Amazon Prime because that's a lawsuit.
Killing Fern Gully.
Not sure about that one.
Well, you need to workshop it. I'm not saying
Call of Duty. Animal Ghosts.
No idea.
Because they're dead now.
No idea is a bad idea. At this stage.
Call of Duty Advanced Murder.
Jungle.
I don't think that's gonna sell.
If you're battling with your friends, it's Jungle Brothers.
In a world where
Jungle Brothers.
In a world where Warfighter is a game, I think we can get away with anything.
Warfighter is a game?
Call of Duty Jungle Brothers is then.
Jungle Brothers.
I would definitely buy that.
I want to be like you.
I want to see Donkey Kong in there.
I want to shoot like you.
What was Warfighter?
It was Medal of Honor, wasn't it? Warfighter? Medal of Honor Warfighter. Have I imagined that? It's something like that.
Warfighter was a different game, wasn't it?
It was Warframe. Oh god, the fact that we're even saying this.
That's got to be one of the worst named video games.
Let me just double check this.
There's a lot of very generic kind of first-person shooter games.
Yes, but anyway, Medal of Honor Warfighter.
There you go.
To clarify, that is a man who fights a war, i.e., soldier.
Nailed it.
Well, maybe call it Call of Duty Soldier.
I like Jungle Brothers.
What about Call of Duty and just going home after a war and actually feeling very maladjusted within a kind of society?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
See that? Do you know what? That could be an interesting game. Like you see, like because we're talking very much within the Call of Duty realm,
it's about going
mechanic. But if you explored that kind of, post-traumatic stress syndrome and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of touched on a bit. The first Black Ops, not Black Ops. It was Black Ops. First Black Ops.
Or was it Black Ops 2?
No, the first one was when you were kind of, it was like all the battles and like fights you did were like memories from your past, when you were kind of like getting electrocuted.
You were getting interrogated, weren't you?
Yeah. Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2?
Black Ops 1.
That was Black Ops 1, right. Yeah. And you kind of
Black
had
Ops
like
2 was even futuristic to a degree, wasn't it? Yeah,
because it was like the relations of the people who were in Black Ops 1. But that was kind of like post-traumatic, you're having flashbacks to things, and that was really interesting. There were some cool ideas.
There's a really good sci-fi novel by a guy called Joe Haldeman called Forever War. It's a long while since I read it, and what it was, he was fighting you're a soldier, an infantryman, and you're fighting a war in a distant planet, but together you kind of, I guess, go through a black hole, or it's kind of interstellar where time passes differently. So he's been fighting a war for a couple of years on this distant planet, but when he returns to Earth, time has passed, so 30 years have passed. So it's basically a metaphor for like soldiers coming home and feeling disconnected from their everyday life, and the guy's disconnected because everyone he knew has grown up, and eventually he was doing tours of duty, and he gets to a point where he comes back and everyone he ever knew is dead. And it's this idea of really alienation, the fact that war changes you forever, and the world you come back to is forever changed. I think that's really interesting. They'll never do it.
Well, not for Call of Duty, but there's no reason why other kind of FPSs could explore that kind of stuff. And I think that's, if you look at FPSs as a genre, you look at what Destiny is doing. That's kind of, going off in like more RPG kind of stuff, adding deeper integration. Call of Duty is still remaining
the roller coaster,
true to its core.
Single player that I love playing every year. I like the roller coaster ride, but also like this is a very selfish one, but I love a Call of Duty set in London, like somewhere I know. I love the idea of like going into the subways.
There was bits and bobs that had like an underground level. Which one was that? Was that Modern Warfare 2?
I don't remember.
Was there? It doesn't sound completely unfamiliar. There was. It was one of the Modern Warfare where you're going through Canary Wharf and you're like jumping from carriage to carriage.
Tube train.
But I feel like almost a whole level, or like one. Imagine one where it's like almost like Die Hard style. So you're not globe trotting. You're like just like it's almost like White House Down or like Die Hard. Where you're one man. You're not an army. You're one dude. So I think that's kind of a rejigging of the formula.
So that's my kind of thought, actually, is that sometimes if we've got into this kind of, developers got into this habit of like more is more.
Escalation.
Whereas actually, I think if you look at the best levels in Modern Warfare with, the Gillies level, which was very simplified, and it was just, when you had to kind of lie there in the field as that entire kind of battalion went past you, sometimes less is best.
I think that'd be really cool. Imagine if you like that kind of stuff. Have you seen Olympus Has Fallen?
No.
It's kind of like modern Die Hard. It's like one man against the odds in a single location, has to use his brain and his wits about him to like triumph and like imagine that as you're a guy who's like come back from service and you're stuck in a building or something and there's a terrorist atrocity and you're the one guy with the skills to save the day. That'd be awesome. It's like pretty cool. Slight RPG elements where you've got to like forage weapons and stuff like that and set traps.
But like that would be amazing where like where you're feeling tension, because you don't really feel that in FPSs anymore. It's all about exhilaration. But that bit where you're like, holy shit, I'm going to get rumbled because I've crawled to the side or the wrong place.
Or imagine scenes where you it's almost like when we did that Battlefield Hardline thing, where you can sometimes freely walk about or like go back into the population of hostages and get like fake interrogated, where you have to like pass the test to get like away again.
Well, I see again the other level that's in Modern Warfare where you're in the AWACS thing or whatever, when you're looking at in that black and white stark scene, you're just mowing down bad guys, but you don't have control of the person on the floor. You're still shooting. But if you could be the person that's like, right, move now, and then they move to the next piece of cover, that would be like, so more interaction. But again, I just want to see more diversity, specifically in Call of Duty games, but just in FPSs.
I guess just because the last ones have all been pretty much advanced warfare and there's only so far you can push it. I mean, the last Advanced Warfare had laser guns in it.
Yeah.
Like laser assault rifles. There's only so far you can go until it's just Halo.
But do you think they'll go back to World War One?
Egypt.
Well, that's it. You can't really. I mean, you can always experiment with like hypothetical timelines. So let's say like, what if Hitler won the war?
Reality.
And then you have all these battles that could be taking place,
or
like these huge,
you know what they could do
really
if
cool
they
stuff.
want to have their cake and eat it is
cake simulator.
Cake, fight giant cakes. No, you send a guy like a time machine. You could go through all the wars. Something like that, you know, if you wanted to have multiple settings, and kind of
well,
like
that was kind of like
you could have First World War, Crimean War, you could have a Korean War. You know, you can send the dude through to like something like that.
Terminator. Yeah.
You play as Kurt Russell, going through Stargates back in time zones. That would be amazing.
Nice, lovely stuff. A Stargate reference, lovely, lovely.
Amazing.
Don't hear enough about Stargate.
No. Anyway, that's what we think about first-person shooters. Personally, let's have some more diversity. Let us know what you think. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com. Let's move on to the Ace stuff that's happened this week. And EA has teased a new Battlefront hero. So far...
I haven't seen this. Yeah, me neither.
So
very excited.
Well, there's not a lot of information. And so I'm mainly asking for your opinions.
So who have we got confirmed?
So far we've got Vader.
Of course.
Luke Skywalker.
Luke.
And Boba Fett. So you got two bad guys.
Combo.
You know
one
it
good
is
guy.
absolutely Stonewall Princess Leia.
You think?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
diversity.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be a good person. It's got to be rebels.
That's what
absolutely.
So why is it not Yoda?
Yoda was great.
No, because this is
I'm not in the movies. I'm talking about Battlefront.
But,
not just like,
but
I'm not just excited.
around this time he's old.
Yeah, but so
Leia.
All right.
Because you also balance. So on the bad guys, you've already got Jedi. On the good guys, you've got Jedi. On the bad guys, you've also got someone who's blaster based, like almost like firepower. I can.
Yeah. Do you know who I'd go for?
Han Solo.
No.
Ooh, who do you go for? Chewie.
Absolutely, Chewie would be
smash it, wouldn't he?
Just like a tank that's just run along with his bowcaster. I would.
He's knock people over as well.
Totally,
he would just rip people apart.
Because I was thinking about Han Solo, and it's
easy.
He'd be boring as well. He would just have a gun.
He's also got a little blaster.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not
Boba Fett.
He's not he's not known for his fighting. Yeah. Like he obviously can handle himself, but he's not like.
What about like Darth Maul? That would be cool.
Can't happen.
Why could that not happen?
It's around the original trilogy. No, it's all. Okay. So far, it's all around the original trilogy time.
Jabba the Hutt.
But
imagine him going
Jakku's in there, right? Force Awakens, that's in there.
What's that?
Jakku is.
But that's after the original trilogy, so we're not going back.
Imagine just seeing like, oh no, they just summoned a hero, and then there's like an explosion and the mist clears, and you're like. And you're like Jabba the Hutt, and you're like just going through the
I wonder if
fields of Hutt.
It's a massive target to shoot.
You've got a winter scarf.
That's pretty good.
And goggles, and you're like,
that's pretty good.
Moving really slow. You just like soak up enemies like gelatin. Pretty amazing. That's my choice.
It's not going to be Leia.
Ooh.
She's not combat ready.
Well, she's the leader of the Rebel Alliance.
But the same, like Boba Fett, Leia.
Well, I reckon it'll be Leia.
I think she's capable of Leia down the law.
I think it's going to be Chewie.
I think Chewie's awesome. I think it'll be Leia.
I think Leia as well. Diversity. They're going to do it. Gosh. They need a girl. I would play as Leia.
So no votes for Han Solo?
Is this who I want, or is this who I think it's going to be?
Well,
because I'm going for Jabba the Hutt if it's who I want.
Yeah, but it's got to be a good guy, surely. Otherwise, it's unbalanced.
R2. Imagine that. He's got loads of gadgets.
Well, C-3PO.
That's awesome.
Like walking around.
Imagine that. A hero. Little R2 lands. He's like electrocuting stuff.
What about Lando?
Yeah, I think I'll go for Boba Fett, actually.
No one's going to say C-3PO.
What about Lando?
Wicket.
You have like a cape.
Wicket.
You like run around and be amazing.
But it's like the Empire has got lots of like proper fighters. And you don't really kind of see that with the Rebel Alliance.
You know what? Lando would be really cool because his ability could be that he would appear to the other team as one of their players, and then you could just like turn around and kill people.
That's good.
Sorry,
that'd be
awesome.
Admiral Akbar.
Just running
around
It's a trap.
It's true. Like he identifies traps. They show up on your map.
Right.
That's
his skill.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
But he does appear in.
He's in it. It's a hologram. He gives you mission directives.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's how it's.
Was there a name for the one that just looked like a fish?
Niam Num.
Nyum Nyum.
He's a
Admiral
Admiral.
Maybe that's what. What did Nyum Nyum look like?
Niam Num. He's a Celestin.
He's the co-pilot on the Millennium Falcon
with Lando
in Return of the Jedi, and he's from Celeste, which is the level that's in.
So he'd fit right
in the fighter squadron.
It's where all the Empire makes its ships and stuff. It's like the lava planet.
Would he be a good fighter?
Not the lava planet.
Well, it'd be disappointing if you got all these other big hits.
But you can play. But also you can play. You can play as his race as like as a regular person. You can play as a Celestin.
It could be him.
Okay. General Grievous. That would be cool. A robot.
You just like bad guys, don't you?
Well, he's amazing. He has like 4 lightsabers.
That's Salacious Crumb.
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
the little dude.
He sounds like the villain from a Dickens novel.
Bib Fortuna. Bib Fortuna used to horrify me as a kid.
Wonga.
Wonga.
Says that, doesn't he? Something like that.
Does adverts for Wonga now?
Give me your money.
Wonga. That's what. Is Jabba the Hutt Mike Ashley?
Yoda's done an advert for goddamn Vodafone, for Christ's sake.
That wouldn't happen these days.
No.
That wouldn't happen under Disney. No. There's no way Yoda's getting hoarded out to do Vodafone.
Vodafone is quite clever though.
I'm Mia Mozzarella. I like also Mia Mozzarella doesn't replace mozzarella. It's just like add it on. It's like smuggled in.
That's pretty funny.
I was gonna say, what about old Ben, like Jedi Ghost?
Good point.
Force
we didn't even
Ghost.
talk about Ben Kenobi. Force Ghost.
Like, but it was like
that'd be awful.
I guess the timeline's all screwed because what they're saying is like, obviously nothing that happens in Battlefront is canon.
Yeah.
It's almost like a playset of like almost toys. That's kind of what they're saying. It's like it doesn't. Obviously, none of this can be canon or continuity because it's ridiculous.
So it's obviously it has to be set before Return of the Jedi. Otherwise,
it's all.
Darth is not.
I think it's all roughly.
But at the same time, Luke is Return of the Jedi Darth.
Yeah.
So
it's all like the best of the original trilogy.
It's Chewbacca, telling you.
Ben Kenobi, imagine if Ben Kenobi was just like insanely overpowered.
But he'd be a ghost. He'd try and pick up the guns and they just go through his
Alec
hands.
Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Or if they've used some of his dialogue in the game, imagine the goosebumps. I'd be so good.
Didn't say that much.
Doesn't matter what he said. It's what he said, not the quantity.
You just run around the corner and there's a couple of like R2 units. And it's like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. I'll go back the other way.
No, but imagine that. We should be getting Star Wars Infinity in this week.
Disney Infinity.
Star Wars, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that one.
Disney Infinity 3.0.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Catchy.
Maybe call it Star Wars Infinity.
I know.
It'd be so much better.
Anyway, here's to Chewbacca ruling the roost when Battlefront comes out. You're up next. Powers.
I am up next. So this is something hilarious that I got to do a news video
Talking
on.
about cheap knockoffs.
Did you guys see this story? It's a console that's available. Well, it's not available yet. You can donate to it on kind of the Chinese version of Kickstarter. It's called the Ouyi or the Ouyi. I'm not quite sure. It's essentially a PlayStation base.
It's a mashup of
with an
every
Xbox
console
controller. Yeah. It looks so weird.
And it's got a grill thing that looks a bit like the Xbox One as well. Like the.
Apparently, the team spent, I think it was 7 months working on the design.
Did they?
I think they nailed it. I think they
like playing both consoles.
7 months, like working on that. It's ridiculous. Apparently, it's going to be available as well for as cheap as $70.
So it looks like a PS4.
Looks like a PS4,
but it's got the Xbox One
styling,
kind of grids on one side of it.
Yeah, and an Xbox controller, but with more buttons.
Yeah.
Like these buttons, like coming out of nowhere.
So what does it actually play?
I have no idea. I think it had adverts for what looked like weird versions of like Assassin's Creed and different games like that. So maybe it will have its own games.
Do you think it's ultimately going to be a cracked console where you can just play pirated versions of? Because obviously that China itself.
It's a new year.
The name is. In fact, they called it that.
I know.
At least call it like riff off Dreamcast or something. Well,
well, the funny thing was the best part of the whole experience was the comments underneath the article where people were kind of like
they're
showing
always
some
the best
of the
experience of anything on IGN.
I do actually love the comments. People were showing some like the best examples of these awful rip-off consoles. So you had like the Poly Station, the Wii, the X game. I thought was like a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I love that. I love Wii. It's actually just saying the console's name again.
Yeah, just Wii.
And then the Wii U.
The piss flap.
the Nintendo piss flap. I screenshot some of these that were like really funny. So this is Star Knight. Basically,
what's that? That's a game, is it?
I think it's
Darth Vader
box for
Darth
either a
Vader
game
on
or
a police motorbike.
I think that's the unlockable character.
Right.
So that was one of them. This is one of the toys. Special Man, who's essentially Superman in like poor packaging. And then the final one, which was definitely one of my favorites. It was supposed to be, I think, a RoboCop doll, but it's actually Robert Cop. Robert Cop 2 specifically.
Have you ever seen those packets of like Avengers toys that you can buy in China?
Yes.
And it's like Captain America and it's Black Widow, and then instead of Hulk, it's Shrek.
It's so
Shrek
funny.
That'll do.
How did you get that mixed up? It's so
that'll
funny.
do. It's Big Green Man.
Imagine playing with all your toys and then they call in Shrek. Imagine if he was in the Avengers. It would be so funny. He'd be like, "Oh, hello," and he'd like come into the battlefield. And it was a good Shrek. It was a good Shrek.
Where's he from?
Scotland.
Ah.
No, the swamp.
In Scotland.
In Scotland. I dare one of you to do a better Shrek than I just did.
I can't.
I'm not even going to try.
So I'm the reigning champ.
Can you do your Rich Bear Puff?
No.
Come on.
I don't
he
have
needs the glasses. He needs the.
Yeah,
he's very. Rory's very method.
Yeah, I did an impression of Rich. It's not the same. I need his Harry Potter glasses.
You're very method, aren't you, as a performer?
Very, very method.
You've done quite a bit of acting, haven't you?
I have actually, yeah. I taught acting for a year.
Did you?
Man of many lives.
You've had many lives, Rory.
I have, for such a young.
You about 47?
Spud? I don't know why I was going to say that. Spud. That was like the only word I could think of.
Always with the potatoes, isn't it?
He's from Ireland.
Yeah. Always with the...
Yeah, I taught acting to kids for a year, under a year, yeah.
Under a year?
For a day.
Do you not pass
just under a year.
The background stuff's not clear.
No, not
get
quite.
Police check.
Showed up on day one and they were like, out.
Get him out. Get him out.
Okay, the last of the A stuff.
Do you want to play with Robert Cop? The last of the A stuff.
That's magic.
That's magic. Earlier this week we went to some magic. Me, Gavin Murphy, and Richard Burpark, our resident wizard. Actually, if you go to IGN, you can watch a video of our very own Richard Burpark, because we've mentioned Rich performing magic on this podcast many times, and he's always refused to do any audio magic, even though on his desk he has a book about audio magic. He's never done any on the podcast.
What is audio magic?
It's like aural magic, like he can predict what, like he can do stuff.
Really? That's so weird.
Magic in your ears,
like hypnosis.
That would be cool.
Magic in your ears. And I saw some people on the IGN UK Podcast Facebook group, IGN UK Podcast it's called, and they were like, he's finally done some magic. So if you go to IGN or IGN on YouTube, you can see Richard take on Randy Pitchford of Gearbox, the producers of Borderlands, and
an accomplished magician,
a descendant of Cardini.
Yeah.
And Rich takes him on in a magic off, and it's very good. You can see Rich do some magic. He's very good. So we went to a magic show in London, and it's called The Impossible. It's called Impossible, and it's running until the 29th of August. So there's a bunch of magicians, most of which Rich knew.
What do you call a collection of magicians?
Oh, what would you call
it? Like a fanny of magicians?
A deception
like that. Is it? Yeah.
A sparkle of magicians.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
because it's magic.
A flourish of magicians.
A flourish of magicians.
Sparkles is.
And so it's like a variety of different styles, from close up to escapology to traditional illusions like, you know, women in boxes, sewing ladies in half, but done in kind of modern way.
Outrageous.
And it's put it together in a few weeks as a kind of a challenge.
Okay.
And it's all these magicians doing tricks, and Rich was just loving it. Me and Gav were sat there.
I can imagine his face just like lit up.
Loving it. And like, Rich, I think, has seen a lot of these guys before. I think he actually knows a couple of them. And it's so weird because it's so long since I've seen any stage magic. I saw Penn and Teller several years ago.
Right.
But even if you've never seen Penn and Teller live, you've seen them on TV, so you kind of know what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's so weird seeing people do like escapology, and some of it was brilliant.
Does it still stand up? Because
some of it was brilliant.
It feels like not a skill that's been lost, but certainly in the public eye, it's like.
Some of it was brilliant. So, like, there was just one guy, and I'm really sorry, I've forgotten his name, but he's very skilled sleight of hand magician. So what he was doing obviously is not meant for the stage as such, but there was various technology used to like emphasize it and bring it to life. There was screens and stuff.
That's got to be even more difficult if there's like cameras.
He was doing amazing stuff with billiard balls where he was making them disappear. Amazing.
That does sound like a show.
I've seen that.
What, little Sue Me? Popping them out at an incredible rate. You should use ping pong balls, not billiard balls. Billiard ball, you kill someone.
Oh my God. That needs some pressure.
That's how you kill a sex tourist.
What a way to go as well. Good God.
Oh God, this got off piece, doesn't it?
So she was there, was she?
No, he was really good. And then what else was there? Still some escapology live on stage. A guy getting set on fire and getting out of a straitjacket was pretty impressive.
Right.
A guy,
at the same time?
Yeah, his legs were like completely on fire. Like, obviously that was not a trick. He was on fire. Like the trick was going on to get out the straitjacket, but he was definitely on fire.
It wasn't like that fake fire where it's like a bit of cloth and a fan blowing it, and he's like, "Oh, it's getting warm."
It was a light effect.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really on fire. But I get really bad like sense of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like, I like shows like The Office and Knowledge Partridge, but I sometimes have to hide behind a cushion. And there's some bits where it was all going to plan, but I thought things were going wrong, and I was kind of just like curling up and like grabbing
You know my thoughts about magic anyway, and
you think it's not real, don't you?
I do think it's not real. Yes.
Well, who knows what it is?
And I think my problem with this all is that I just sit there with a massive cynical look on my face and not enjoy it.
Yeah, probably not for you, is it?
Even you describing it to me, it sounds like an absolute bag of shite.
Good, well.
But was it good?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Aside.
You aside.
I'd say good. Because you were saying that Rich was really getting into it, and of course he would, because he embraces that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But as a...
And the people around us were loving it. Right. There's one bit where on your chair when you sit down, there's I'm not going to spoil it because people who are listening might go see it, but you get an envelope, and inside that there's 4 posters, and like little tiny posters, and the guy comes on and he does a trick using them, and there's the denouement of the trick is like something cool happens. People around us were losing their shit.
Really?
Yeah.
How was Gav? Because he's always like...
I can't imagine him being...
He loves magic, Gav.
I know he does.
And some bits he was loving it. Other bits, like... Because he can be quite a psyche sort as well.
Yeah.
I think he enjoyed it as well.
I thought some of the tricks that Gav and Randy Pitchford did... Sorry, Rich and Randy Pitchford did look great. I wasn't there, but just watching the video...
I know we give him more time. Rich is really good.
I know, but
he is good.
I have to give him a hard time.
Yeah. I think he needs a name. He just goes by Rich. He needs like Rich the Magnificent or Rich. I think like the Great Ricardo is quite cool.
Rick?
Average Rick. Set the bar low, and then they're even blown away. Who are you going to see tonight? Average Rick.
Tricky Dicky.
Tricky Dicky.
If anyone has any suggestions for what we should call Magic Rich, let us know. IGN. Oh God, it's been so long since I've been on.
IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com.
And also, if you're coming to Podcast 300, then hopefully we will get Rich out doing live magic in front of your eyes.
Yeah, we've actually got a little bit of a wiggle on when it comes to Podcast 300. Yeah. We are planning something spectacular.
It's going to be insane.
I'm going to say right now, it's going to be spectacular. We will at least have mini sausage rolls there.
I can't guarantee that.
Don't know if the
maybe
budget
they'll
will
be full
stretch,
size, but Rich.
God, I just realised I'm definitely
like
going to have to go pick up some mini sausage rolls now.
So a few people have been asking when it's going to happen. So we are still figuring out final dates. I'm really sorry, but we're trying to figure out the venue. By this time next week, we should have the final date and the final venue. We're currently looking at the first or second week in October. But hopefully this time next week we'll have specific details
and
that we can tell you then.
It will be dead good, it will.
It's going to be good. We've got exciting stuff happening.
Yeah, we haven't planned it yet. But
You know, me and Gav joined at 250 pretty much.
Ooh.
It was like,
This is going to blow that out of the water.
So it's pretty cool.
You're going to
50
like
episodes.
It's going to...
Then none of you thought it was going to last this long. Y'all doubted me.
No, we didn't.
Y'all doubted me, made fun of me, and pushed me around.
What's he on about?
I never made fun of you.
It was a joke, but you took it really seriously.
I always make fun of you.
You got really sad. What
What do you mean we did?
Right. Speaking of our stuff, bad stuff that's happened this week.
Speaking of Rory,
so they released the soundtrack for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Yeah.
Now
I went through that list and I was like, what?
That's it. So I was looking at the article. And
You're
I was
young.
Like, I was
you
like,
like skating.
well, this is it. I used to skate so much, and you wouldn't think it, but like the punk scene in Northern Ireland where I grew up is huge.
Right.
Like every band there that's formed around the North Coast is like majoritively punk. It's loads of punk stuff. So when we went to gig nights and things, it was all punk bands. Like all my friends were in punk bands, and we just like went out skating every day and listened to that kind of music. And a lot of it was from Tony Hawk's 1, Pro Skater 2, like all these games and titles. They were like the soundtracks to our summers and things like that. So I was like, a new Tony Hawk's is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So I looked at the list, and the first one was Anti-Flag, which I do know. So I was like, awesome, Anti-Flag. It's a good start. It was the only one I knew on the whole list.
So what kind of music is Anti-Flag?
Anti-Flag is just like, it's kind of like pop punk. So it's a bit more like poppy, but it's still like just generic kind of punk.
Yeah.
Government are bad. Let's not follow the government.
Sounds
everybody.
Sounds hard.
America is wrong. All that kind of stuff.
Or right, depending on point of view at this moment in time.
We're all the same, but we're also hate everyone. That kind of stuff.
Sounds
lots of power chords.
Lots of power chords and ripping solos and stuff. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. I don't think I've ever sounded so American before in my life. It's pretty cool.
Ripping some solos with some barbecue.
I crowd surfed last night for the first time in my life.
Where?
I was at a show last night. I was at a gig last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What gig?
It was a Fall of Troy gig in the Electric Ballroom in Camden.
How'd that go?
I've been to the
it's way bigger than I thought it was.
Were you drunk?
Oh my gosh.
I
was a little bit, yeah.
Did you just thought, I'm going to go?
None of my friends did. I was like, don't do it. And he like just grabbed me like by like below the waist and just like threw me up, and I was like, and then it was one of those like old man moments where you're really supposed to be enjoying it, but I was like, where are my keys, where are my phone, like where's my wallet the whole time.
People touching your butt?
Probably, yeah.
Well, how else are they going to keep him up?
Hands everywhere. It was just the butt.
Was anything
That's how you keep me up.
A little dry finger.
There wasn't. No, thank God. Thank God. But yeah, Skrillex was on the soundtrack.
That was the only person on the entire lineup that I'd heard.
What was
that's not very punk?
No.
Or skater.
What was the point that came in your life where you thought, I thought this probably hasn't. Has this happened to you yet? Where you've kind of gone, I'm getting a bit older now.
What, to skateboard?
Just in general, with like certain things, like losing touch with certain things. But like,
but then again, I'm still building Lego. I should have had that.
But there's like certain things where there's now quite a lot of celebrities now. It sounds so old. I'm not even that old, but it's like I just don't care about even finding out. Like there's lots of celebrities now. I don't know who that is. Yeah, but my girlfriend's a bit younger and she works like a bit more within that world, and there's like certain celebrities I have no idea who that is, right? And also I have no interest in finding out. I don't care anymore. I think the time when I thought I'm getting a little bit more out of touch was, I think, around the time Twilight came out, and obviously I'm not the target demographic for Twilight whatsoever, but I didn't even know it was a thing. And the film was being made and there was like this huge craze, and I was like, nope, I did not know this was even a thing.
I watched this
because I think
so many times. My girlfriend at the time was obsessed with them. She was like, let's watch Twilight again.
By the full moon, Rory.
Like that.
Yeah. She was a werewolf as well, so that made things a bit.
Rory, give me vampire baby.
But I think that's good because like you're confident in who you are.
Yeah, I think that's the point. You get. I think maybe that's the correlation. You also get to an age where you solidify your character and your interest, and you go, actually, I know I don't like that.
Yeah.
And therefore I will spend no energy learning about it.
Yeah. It's one of those things, it's kind of like this juxtaposition of getting too old to, be involved in more like juvenile activities, like having a Pikachu phone case. But then you also get older and you get to the point where it's like, I don't care. Like if I want a Pikachu phone case, I'm going to have a Pikachu phone case. Like you just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, I honestly couldn't give two shits what people think about me.
Yeah, which is quite nice.
I don't care.
Yeah. I totally don't care.
I think it's a good thing to be childish. I think childish is sometimes. I think you want to create a distinction between being childish and infantile. Yeah. Infantile, maybe the negative, but being childish is actually quite a wonderful thing. Yeah. Like, never lose that enthusiasm for things. Like,
it's a nice characteristic.
I always shit in a nappy.
Do you? Yeah. Your baby son's like, Dad, come on.
That's what happens when you have children. You regress a little bit.
Do you?
It's just like. Oh, toilet's there.
I just got this idea.
I'm just going to do it here.
I got this idea. Mrs. like giving you food, and you're just like tipping it on the floor. Nope, not having that.
Spoon just down my front.
She's like, "Here's the airplane." You're like smacking it out of the way.
Other bad news this week: Rainbow Six Siege has been delayed. It was coming out in October. It's now coming out in December. 2 months later. Sad times because that is a game that I really, really, really want to play.
Love a bit of Rainbow. I love a bit of Rainbow Six. I used to love Terrorist Hunt. So much. I used to play that every night when I was at university with my cousin who was back home. We used to play Terrorist Hunt. There's a level on Rainbow Six, like Vegas 2, which was like a restaurant. I don't know if it was like a Chinese restaurant. I just played that level so much. Just love going through Vegas the kitchen and like crouching down in the kitchen.
There's something about a game like these kind of like shooting games that really incorporate teamwork
I really
and
love
communication.
tactical shooters.
Yeah, it's really, like when we were doing the heist, the Humane Labs heist, and there's when the synchronized sniping and we're like moving around.
That was the only point during that entire 4-hour session that we were anyway working as a team.
Definitely not with the fucking fighter jets.
And that
was abysmal.
Speaking of actually that synchronized sniping mission, all the sniping went really well, and then that was when you got in the getaway van and ran over me on the way out.
To be fair,
killed me.
I like the best one. Always the loose cannon in that entire mission.
We're always the wild card. The best one when Rory got in the car, you kicked him out.
I was like, you had the briefcase, and I was like, get in, Alex. You throw me out of the car and just drive off. That was ridiculous.
It's like when you were following us all, and then you decided to crash a car or whatever, and then you had to run the rest of the way.
That was a nightmare.
Also, what I like about Rainbow Six is like options. It's not just going through corridors. I love the fact you can like break through windows or go on the roof and abseil and
you
stuff like this.
You haven't seen or played Siege, have you?
No.
So the good thing about it is it's 5v5. There's no single player. Although there is, but it's the same game but versus bots.
Oh, okay.
And then you either play as the terrorists or the terrorists or the SWAT guys. So you're either as the terrorist, you're holed up inside a building or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You've got to build barricades and make sure that you're protected.
This
from the guys
sounds really cool.
3-minute rounds, so super fast. And as the SWAT guys, you've got to get in and take out all the terrorists, rescue the hostage in 3 minutes. So this
sounds awesome.
So as a terrorist, you've basically just got to hole up there and wait.
Yeah.
And you can either do that by, staying in the room where you are, because you've got a whole building.
Yeah.
And the guys who are attacking don't know where you are in the building. You could be in the basement, you could be in the top floor, whatever.
Yeah.
So out of the 5 people, you could split and send, 2 people. You could even send 2 people outside and ambush the attackers coming in because they don't know you're going to be there. So, there's so much at stake.
How did I never hear about this? This sounds great.
Because the cool thing about it is that once you're shot, you're out. It's not Call of Duty. And I went into it, especially at Gamescom, thinking, right, it's okay, I'm okay. Run forward, gun, bang, I'm dead. Like, because you get shot once, you're
How does
dead.
it work with early kills? Do people generally tend to stay with the game? Or do you have a lot of people like dying and then just leaving the lobbies? Or
I guess you play usually with people you're buddies with.
Yeah. And I think also because we've played it at like game events where you're playing, with the developers there. You can't just go, fuck this, and then walk out.
Imagine you did that. Imagine you played a game at like press events, like
rage quit, just leave immediately.
Yeah, you can't really do that.
Okay.
But yeah, because it's moved back, they were going to do some bases. I guess that's all going to be changed. But I'm sure we're going to get to play it a few times before it comes out in December.
Yeah,
and we might do something very cool, which we will talk about at a later time.
Yeah,
very exciting.
Which will incorporate you and me and Krupa and 2 other IGNers.
2 other?
Well, repping
Team of 5.
Team IGN UK.
Who else would we pick?
Who did a weird hand gesture to go with?
Who should make...
It's muscle powers.
Where are you?
Who should make the team? Let us know. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com.
That's a pretty good idea. Vote them in. Public vote.
It's us 3.
What do you think you'd be good at in that kind of Spec Ops team?
Having seen you in action, your brand of just bowling in, like...
Can't be doing that. You get people killed like that.
What
are you basing this on? You saw me playing COD. I was great.
Yeah, but it's.
I have FPS eyes. I get in this mindset. I pound a monster, and I get into my FPS zone. I neglect the universe around me. It's a necessity.
You're like a fancy red boy.
I'm like Popeye. I have to have it, and then I get my FPS muscles, and I just zone in. And it's just like.
You're talking about the energy drink.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do something else.
You're always wanking off an ogre.
Shrek from the Avengers, yeah.
You thought it was the Hulk, it wasn't. Oh, God.
There's no scope for it. Yeah. There's no sniper, is there? I love being a sniper and stuff. There's no.
Can't be a sniper.
But sometimes in hostage situations they have people on rooftops looking in.
So we don't know, but with the 3-minute time limit. He's just going to be sat there. Please stand in front of the window.
Come to the window.
You'd have to be a really bad terrorist.
That'd be good if you knock on the window. Imagine if Rory's dressed up as a pizza man. Excuse me, we have some pizzas. Yeah. And they open the door. Come Rory.
But I think,
and then inside the pizza box. Gun.
I love the way that wouldn't flag up with anyone on the opposite team. All the terrorists in the building and they'd be like, I didn't know that you could do this in the game.
Game is paused.
And then the terrorists go, do you want a pizza? No, I don't want a pizza. I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe that's like as they're putting up barricades. Like one of the options, order pizza.
Hostage that I ordered it.
Yeah,
earlier the night before somebody hostage.
It's like Sims. You can order pizza and then come along. Be great. And then we can give the pizza guy the gun. You can join our team.
I'd be good. A Sims map in Siege.
What about a Sims FPS? That would be cool. Like you could just raid other people's houses and stuff.
Would it be cool?
Kind of. Maybe. It wouldn't. They'd hold the guns like this, like that when they walk and fire. Like it would be ridiculous. It'd be pretty cool.
Anyway,
I got something else on the bad list actually. I just found a rip in my jeans.
Oh.
Yeah. Just something.
Maybe that's. Did you really get dry fingered last night?
I'm a little worried now. These were the jeans I wore last night.
That's definitely some more stuff.
And it's more. Wow. I'm gonna stop putting my finger in it. That's for sure.
Was your Bifkin poked?
Little beefy roll.
My beefy roll, yeah.
Do you know that's all he ate? Yeah, he's got little beefy rolls. Do you know what biffy roll is?
I saw him eating it. Yeah.
It was like long days. I really did not have time to sit down and eat.
For people who don't know, it's like a pepperami in like some kind of
in like a hot dog bun.
Yeah.
But it just it circles around. Yeah,
hot dog bun.
It was greasy as well.
Almost like vacuum packed.
How did you eat them then?
I just want to try it. It was a
Rory loves junk food as well.
It was a beefy roll XL. Man, yeah, I can be really bad.
I remember in the airport coming home from Gamescom. We had so we just eaten lunch and then we were just walking around the airport with nothing to do. I was like a bit bored. We had 2 hours for a flight. I just went. You could tell everyone wanted to say it, but no one wanted to say it. And we got around the corner. We was like, "Do you want to go to Burger King?" And we were like, "Yeah." And then I went, "Rory, do you want to go to Burger King?" Rory just went, "Yep." And we sat down.
Burger King there.
Yeah, and me and Rory, I was speaking to Rory, and I'm like, "Rory, what's your least favorite? Like, what's your least favorite type of food?" Rory just went, "Vegetables." What's your favorite type of food? Pizza.
Yeah, well, Gav called it as well.
You hate vegetables.
I hate vegetables, like every vegetable except
potatoes.
Lettuce. Don't like potatoes.
Lettuce is
unless they're chips. I like them as chips. I don't like it. And chips and chips and lettuce are the only vegetables I like.
Lettuce is terrible.
Why is lettuce terrible?
Is pathetic.
You can have it in salads.
Tastes like nothing.
Yeah, I know, but like carrot. Carrot is a nice vegetable.
I don't like cooked carrots.
Right.
Raw ones are all right. When you get a bit crunch in them, dip them in some peanut butter. Ooh, amazing. No,
sweet corn. What?
Not really.
Corn on the cob is an amazing
sweet
vegetable.
potato.
No, don't like sweet potato. Don't like Brussels sprouts. Don't like peas. Don't like green beans.
Cauliflower.
Don't like cauliflower. Don't like broccoli.
Parsnips.
Don't like parsnips. Fruit. I like fruit.
Fruit, sugar, that's fine. Anyway, before we move on to feedback, Chris Tilly can't be on the podcast this week, but Fright Fest starts next Thursday, and he's giving me his top 5 recommendations of the show if you're going and you like horror. He says you should see Nina Forever. He might have made these up.
Person or a film?
You should see Nina Forever. She's working above the Phoenix. Nina Forever.
Tell her Chris Tilly saying.
Nina. Little vouchers. Some Kind of Hate, We Are Still Here, Tales of Halloween, which is supposed to be very good, I want to see that, and Deathgasm. That's like a description of a weekend.
I was going to say, it sounds like the IGN UK podcast. We're still here.
The Deathgasm.
Oh, I thought you meant Deathgasm. I was like, I guess, maybe.
All right.
First piece. Sometimes in the medieval period or the Renaissance period, they called the orgasm the little death.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's like dying ecstasy.
How do you know what dying is like? How did they know what dying was like? I guess they're always dying.
Anyway, good if dying was like an orgasm.
Yeah,
last thing you do is just
on your deathbed, you just go, oh, and just like.
I tell you
that's
what,
my noise, by the way.
Ruins the grandkids' memories of you.
The last memory.
Oh man. So Tommy Crecky, or Thomas from Indiana, US, says, "Is there anything you do or exposed to so much in real life that you lose interest in it in games or movies? For me, it is guns."
He does a lot of that in real life?
I would assume so. He's from Indiana.
Oh, your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I know, typical American, right? Have you ever fired a gun?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Where, in America or in Northern Ireland?
Here in the office. Sometimes when you guys are gone, just desk pop. Yeah. Sometimes I finish an edit and I'm like, yeah.
Where's Rory? He's playing his banjo and shooting stuff.
He's in his rocking chair at the front with a shotgun.
You're here for the IGN?
I should welcome people into episode 300 and be like, howdy, folks.
I was going to say, we've got to dress you up.
You got a pretty mouth. So like the man from FedEx.
A chip-tune version of that.
playing that on the Game Boy.
That would be so funny.
Julian Banjo-Kazooie's. Come on.
Right, so where did you fire a gun?
In LA, in California, at a shooting range.
Okay.
Yes.
Not at somebody else, that's good.
Not at somebody else.
He's actually wanted.
It's weird. It's really weird. Because obviously, like, I do it all the time in video games. I fired just like regular, like 9mm pistol. There was like some really cool ones.
What kind of gun it was?
I did know at the time. I don't remember.
Have you ever fired a gun?
No.
That surprised me. I thought you would have done that when you've been to America one time.
It's one of those things I'd quite like to do, but I'm not. Normally, like everyone says, we'll travel out to like Nevada because that's where you can fire the big guns.
That would terrify me. I'd like to do like almost like sniping, like see how good your aim is, like almost test yourself. Because I did archery for about a bit when I was a kid.
Tell a lie, I fired like a small caliber rifle when I was younger, but nothing.
Yeah, I did.
Not
that
like
as well.
a proper. I'd love to fire like an M4, not fully auto, but just like.
You know some stuff about guns, don't you?
A little bit about guns.
Like guns.
I like guns.
My brother,
and that's the thing. And then maybe if I was exposed to guns, but this guy is bored of guns because of real life.
Because America.
My brother went to the same one I went to, but then he also did the desert one, and he got to do like assault rifle and like a sniper rifle as well. Oh, and a shotgun.
You can do like heavy machine guns.
The crazy places in Asia where you can do stuff like that as well.
Like abandoned cars. And it's like
just like go to town.
Oh my god.
You're getting really excited about this now, yeah.
Maybe I'll do that before it.
So anything else we're exposed to in games that eating mushrooms?
Yeah. Running
Passe.
over people in cars sometimes. I'm getting kind of sick of that.
not in real life, no.
Oh, yeah. No, totally.
But there is a lot of... It's, I've spoken about it before, but the whole, I'm playing GTA too much, and you're walking down the street, you see a nice car and go, I'm just going to walk up to that car, open it, drag the guy out and drive off in it. Obviously, I've never done that, but...
Do you ever have that in real life where you're like... So I played like a whole weekend of GTA once, and then I was walking down the street, and I was like, oh, that's a really nice car.
Yeah.
And there was almost like a little switch in my head that was like, oh, I should grab it. And you're like, whoa.
No, I know.
It's weird.
I was walking down the street with my missus. This was a long time ago. It was around the time of San Andreas. And I made the mistake of saying to her, that's a nice car. I could just go and steal that. And she was like...
Alex, you probably should stop being
reality check.
It was even weirder as well because it's right after you punch that hooker, so it's like the whole GTA mindset. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if there is anything that, like, everything I do in games is so different from what I do. I don't play like editing simulator. That'd be really boring. Play as a video editor.
I bet you really should play.
To be fair, I think you're still playing as a video editor in real life.
Yeah. Who knows? This is like an Avatar scenario.
You're acting.
I'm actually a blue alien controlling Rory Bot.
Rory Bot 2000.
Rory Bot 2000. So I don't know if there's anything.
So next bit of feedback is from Adam Wrigley. I wasn't on last week's podcast or the week before, and this just says the book is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's that bit of feedback. Good.
What would the question have been?
Possibly, I was trying to remember. What book has this guy called Willy Wonka? He's making a whole range of confectionery, including chocolate. What was that called? What
Great
was that
elevator.
called? Like, I don't know the context, but I just saw that in the mailbag. I thought that
Willy Waldo.
And we could have asked the people who were on last week's podcast.
But I thought
you were on.
I was on last week's podcast. What was the question?
I don't know. That's literally
that's the answer. We don't know what the question was.
The book is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is like Jeopardy. What is?
Yeah. I don't remember. Okay. I don't remember. Not at all. It clearly wasn't that important. This email is from Levon Young. Greetings in Duck Hunt. So I've started reading The Martian. It can be considered real science fiction. What? It can be considered real science fiction, and so far I've learned a lot without even trying. So are there any games that have taught you real-world skills? My brother used to play RuneScape, like the online, the browser game, and he learned so much about trees from RuneScape.
Like what?
Because all the different you cut down wood to build different things in the game. Okay. So he'd be like, he could name like 20 different types of trees just from playing RuneScape and like learning and different types of metal. And
but you're saying he could name them. Naming them is one thing, but what, he could recognize them?
Probably not.
Like that tree is like
Alex, he learned 20 trees.
That's pretty impressive.
Could you name 20 trees?
I don't think Levon is going to build a spaceship, but he could probably recognize one.
You can name 20 trees.
I don't know.
Let's take
you don't
forever.
need to write
Birch.
it down. Oak. Birch. I was going to say.
Birch.
Stop saying oak and birch.
Silver bark.
No, it's silver birch.
Silver birch.
Yeah.
Acorn.
No.
Acorn tree.
No.
Is that not a real thing?
Acorns from an oak tree.
Is it?
Yeah, you get acorns on an oak tree.
Acorn tree. Does sound a bit dumb now that I'm saying it back. Can you name 20
Conker tree?
The horse chestnut.
Yeah, that one.
Tree.
Yeah. the
Weeping
big
Willow.
One?
Weeping Willow's good. This is why people listen to this, but not like stuff like Beyond and Unlocked.
Yeah, for the gritty.
So we're quarter of the way there. Come on.
Monkey Puzzle.
Monkey Puzzle.
That's you trade.
I'm starting to think there aren't 20 different types of trees in this world.
Fir tree. Yeah.
Redwood. Oh,
amazing.
Joshua.
Rocket League,
the tree.
9.
Come on, I'm thinking about the Amazon. There must be loads of trees in the Amazon.
That sentence. Well, yes, there are.
Yeah, but they're all cut down. Otherwise, I'll be able to name them.
What's ebony from? Mahogany.
I don't know.
Is it mahogany tree?
Teak. Is that a tree?
I was about to say something really dumb. I was going to say, I thought you got mahogany from elephant tusks.
What oak is from an oak tree? But is mahogany from a mahogany tree?
A mahogany tree. That's definitely right as well, and I'm laughing at it.
But I can name woods. Ulster, teak, mahogany, oak,
Ron Jeremy,
birch, James.
Oh my god!
Imagine all the trees you learn about in Jungle Brothers.
Have we learned anything from games? I would say no.
I once tried to pick the lock to my granddad's car when I was 6.
What game would
I don't know.
Master Resident Evil.
There was a
Jill. You are the master of lock picking.
No, but when he died, I set fire to him because I didn't want him to come back. Good. No,
after he had his little orgasm.
I tried to. Whoa, hey now, respect. Come on, Jesus, come on. No, I actually did try to do that. I was playing some game, not like a violent game, but on a Amiga where you had to pick locks or something. And then my granddad, when I was around this house one day, went into his garage, and he was a gardener for a profession, and he had like these like wire. I don't know what they were. They used like wire ties or something. And I started trying to pick his lock, and I opened it. It was a Ford thing. It was a Ford, and it was like 300,000 combinations. And I picked it. The only problem was the metal thing got stuck in the lock and couldn't be removed, so they had to replace the whole door.
Oh my gosh! How much was that?
So like 800 quid or something, 1,000 quid or something.
There you go.
That's crazy.
So you have learned something.
Yeah.
Any more trees? Walnut.
Walnut's excellent tree. Or think of nuts.
What does a Brazil nut come from?
Brazil tree.
A peanut doesn't come from a tree.
No, I know that.
They go on the ground?
A peanut isn't actually a nut, it's a legume.
Is it?
Comes from a bush.
That's weird.
Ash. Excellent. What are we on now? 12. Also, I think we're doing this because the category we're on podcast is also Gardeners Question Time.
Right, that's true.
So,
how much do they know about games?
Yeah.
Huh?
Could they name 12 and a half games?
No.
Doubt it.
That is the gauntlet thrown down right there. Is it me? I think it is me.
Yeah, I'm out.
Josh Bain says...
Cherry Blossom.
How did I miss that? That's my favourite tree.
Is that the same as the cherry tree?
No. Well, I'm thinking like the Japanese one.
No, totally, yeah. But is the cherry tree... That's different as well?
Yeah.
Banana tree? Is that a tree?
Whoa.
Well, bananas do grow on trees.
Like a apple tree.
Palm tree.
Lemon tree. Done it.
We did it.
Palm tree.
Yeah, palm trees.
Yeah.
I said that.
Yeah, well.
Coconut tree.
Name a fruit and then name a tree.
Yeah.
You've basically got
Orange tree.
Yeah.
Olive tree. Oh, come on.
We're killing it.
If you know of any more trees than that, then...
Why did we nominate this one for the GMA?
IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com with your favourite trees.
I just like the idea of none of us next week doing the podcast and they're just getting emails.
All these
like
tree emails, yeah. Or as I call them, tree mails.
Anyway.
Shut up.
Josh Baines writes in saying, this coming Sunday I will be taking part in Tough Mudder Southwest, and I'm raising money for Special Effects, a brilliant charity that we all know very well. Anyway, if you want to contribute to Josh's Just Giving page, you can www.justgiving.com/Josh Baines. That's JOSHBAINES. Good luck, Josh.
Good luck.
I would never ever do that ever.
Bad enough doing 10k.
I know.
Yeah. Ooh.
Is that last piece of feedback?
That's last bit.
Yeah.
It's 4 bits this week because I knew the tree thing would probably happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, thinking ahead.
So let's quickly talk about the stuff that's coming out this week and what you can waste your weekend with. Obviously, we've all been playing Call of Duty Beta. It's out next week on Xbox One, Rory, and PC, so you'll have to wait to
live
play
my double live again.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
So you can, rank up and do whatever you want to do on the PS4 and then go back to scratch. On Xbox One.
Will the progress on the beta carry over?
I doubt it.
You don't think so? Really?
I don't. Do you know what? I made that up. I have no idea.
You literally just said.
You're really confident.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Hopefully it does.
That's how I've got to where I am now. It's not actually knowing anything. It's just like proper belief in things that I say.
I tried to do that with the Rocket League competition we played in, and it didn't work.
No.
I was so confident, and we just didn't happen.
Also out this week is Volume, which is Mike Bithel's follow-up to Thomas Was Alone, kind of inspired a little bit by Metal Gear Solid's VR missions. Tells the tale of a futuristic Robin Hood. I haven't actually played it myself, but I've heard good things.
Sounds interesting.
Got it on the gaming PC. Give it a crack later.
And then finally, Final Fantasy VII, surprise, is out on iOS. Mm-hmm. So before the remake comes on PS4, iOS. So
Refresh your memories.
Lovely stuff.
Bad Education, the movie.
It's the Jack Whitehall.
Yeah.
My mate went to school with Jack Whitehall.
Really?
I can't say anything more. I actually don't know anything more.
Did he have a bad teacher?
It strikes me as he went to a posh school.
Yeah, my mate went to a posh school.
Yeah.
In Kate Middleton also went to that school.
Really? There you go.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I've seen the TV show a few times. It's no in-betweeners, is I think the way I would describe it.
In-between is so good though.
You can.
I've
rewatched it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's the greatest depiction of what it's like to grow up as a teenager in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, see, yeah, it's a bit
like
weird.
Skins is the glamorous version of it, but the reality, I've seen certain episodes.
Skins is the glamorous version.
No, but like that's the sexy. Maybe if you're a popular kid like yourself, Rory. But for me, you might be Skins. For me,
We're
it's
definitely in between
fucking.
Skins.
It's me buying some kettle chips, looking like a Hasidic Jew. That's what I'm doing.
Which character are you from the In-Betweeners?
I don't know. I'm
Neil?
probably an amalgamation of like a bit Will and Simon.
I think you're Will.
Yeah.
Not Will.
No, I don't think he's Will. He's Simon.
Sorry.
Jay.
No,
Neil. No, I'm definitely not. I'm not Neil.
Surely I'm Neil.
Lanky thicker.
But never mind.
I'm crap at dancing.
He's good at dancing.
Yeah, but I'm crap at dancing.
Oh, okay.
I don't like dancing.
Yeah.
So I am Neil then.
Yeah, I think it's Simon, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit Simon and a bit Will, a bit nerdy.
Chris Tilly is definitely Will. Looks like him as well.
No, he's Jay.
Tilly?
Yeah.
No, he likes to think he's Jay, but really he's Will.
No, but like Tilly likes giving it all that.
Gobshite. So maybe don't go and see that. Sinister 2, definitely don't go and see that because we gave it a 1 out of 10 on IGN.
Which I didn't even know what the 1 stood for. It stands for unbearable.
Oh my god.
Maybe they should have called it that. That's a great name for a film.
Unbearable.
Yeah.
And then finally Vacation, which I would give 8 emojis out of 10.
Happy smile, aubergine, smiley poo, ghost, crying.
Love the smiley poo.
Out of those things, what would you spend your weekend doing? It's got to be COD Beta for you, Rory, surely.
Yeah.
And a bit of volume.
Although it's not on Xbox.
Yeah. Well, I'll just steal a PlayStation.
There you go. Fair enough. I'll probably stick with Rocket League, if I'm honest.
I did kind of find today where I kept losing at COD, and I was like, oh, just flop some Rocket League, just blast out a quick game.
It's coming up to 5 o'clock. We could get out of here and do a little cheeky Rocket League.
So before we finish, we've got one last thing to mention. Legends of Gaming Live is taking place this September on the 5th. If you don't know what it is a bunch of YouTube experts at gaming who are basically competing to be crowned the best gamer in the UK, and IGN is part of that competition. Anyway, we've also got a competition to win a PS4 and a copy of Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain and 2 other games of your choice. That will be announced over the coming days, so just keep your eyes on IGN.
And Legends Gaming itself is on September 5th.
Yes.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as a legend of gaming.
Well, you are. So it's not even up for
But I don't
question,
need to compete because
you don't need to.
I'm already up there in the halls of fame.
The king doesn't have to say he's king.
I would quite like to compete.
Would you?
Yeah.
What would be your game of
I reckon
choice?
I could have an esports career.
And your game of choice is
Minesweep.
You know what that alarm was for? What did I set this alarm for?
You've got to update GTA.
That was it. That was it.
Hell. Did you not
It's
even
so pointless that I know. I set the alarm to remind myself to do it, and I forgot what the alarm was
Does
for.
anyone watch Pound Shop Wars?
It was on last night, right?
Yeah.
My missus was
It's
watching.
hilarious.
It was about the loop bands.
I think it's one of the funniest shows. I know this is silly to say. If you and your missus want to watch something really funny, go back and download the first episode.
Okay.
It's one of the funniest things I've seen on TV for a long time. Me and my girlfriend were like just pissing ourselves watching it. It was so funny. The second episode was good. But also when the episode finished and the credits were rolling, the guy who was doing the announcement for Bake Off afterwards, his iPhone started going off. And you could hear it going, duh, 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 and it was putting him off, and he go, I'm sorry about that. And he had to stop announcing the next show.
Oh my god!
What is
even the link is Pound Shop.
Pound Shop Wars is amazing. It's about Poundland, I think, and basically loads of like just pound shops in the UK competing. And they were having a craze on loom bands, and this guy goes, I can't sell them fast enough. And then there's this one guy who interrupts him and goes, excuse me, do you sell those little chocolate footballs? It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Who's looking for that?
Because it was on last night, and I did say to my missus, like, what on earth is this?
It's like Real Life Office, BBC One. Watch the first episode.
I might go back and watch it.
It's really, really funny.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Actually, one more thing. Maple, you, bonsai.
Bonsai tree, great.
Maple as well. How do we
Funny
miss
you
that?
should mention Operation U Tree. And on that note, that's it for this week's podcast. We'll be next week. We'll be back next week. Creeper might not. I don't know.
Tree hunt.
Bye.